All right, YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. I'm going to still do simultaneous streaming of YouTube and Facebook. So let me start the Facebook Live as well, and we can get that started to get everybody on board at the same time. Happy, what is today? Saturday? Yay, happy Saturday. Oh, goodness. Let me drink some more. Happy Saturday. I'll give everybody just a minute to pop on. I know it's Saturday night. Many of you may be out celebrating. It's the holiday, and that's what's happening. Hey, Sandy, thanks for joining. And that's what we're doing right now, having holiday season. So many of us might be celebrating the holiday. Hey, Jessica, thanks for joining. I'm doing this on Facebook and on YouTube at the very same time. So if you hear any echoes, Facebook, let me know because I can't hear anything. Last night it was fine. So I'm hopeful that me doing this at the same time will still be okay tonight as well. So I'll give everybody just a few minutes just to pop on because I'm super excited for day 3. We've had 2 days already. I hope you've had a chance to, if you weren't with us on the first 2 days, that you were able to go back and watch the replay. But I have another really good one for you tonight. Hi, Ramona. Thanks for joining. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. I am Dr. Shana. I am here to help you shift from where you are to where you are destined to be. I inspire change, but I teach transformation. And for those of you who do not know me well, I am a motivational speaker. I am a transformation leader. I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm an owner of a private practice for counseling in Houston, Texas. I am a trainer and advocate. And all of that summed up, I am a servant. I am a servant here for you in order to help you create the life you've always wanted. And I'm majorly excited that you have chosen to join me on this journey for the 12 days of Christmas. Today is day 3. Okay, so today's is going to be a little bit more serious. And it's cry if you want to. Cry if you want to. So here's the thing. We realize that with Christmas, it comes with a whole lot of the great, the fun festivities and the parties and the food and the gifts and all these things. However, there's another side to the holidays that may not always be so much fun, not so much glitz and glam and excitement. Many of us, and probably I would say most of us, have had losses at some point in life. And that can make surviving the holidays tough, especially if your loss is something that's very recent. And the holidays can bring up a lot of memories and things that can cause us to be sad. And I really want to deal with that tonight. I actually, a couple of weekends ago, hi Faith, thanks for joining. A couple of weekends ago, I was able to present a workshop to my church, actually about grief and the holidays. Hey, Peggy, thanks for joining. I was able to do a workshop for my church about the holidays and grief and how do we survive it. And so it's just such a pertinent topic that I had to add it as part of the 12 days of Christmas, because we can feel that if I have a loss that other people may not understand, I may not be in the holiday spirit. If I've had a loss, other folks may not understand why I'm not, running around buying presents and wrapping gifts and playing reindeer games. I just may not be in the mood. And so I want to say that that's perfectly okay. And that can be very normal. Here's the thing. We can grieve a lot of different things, family. We can grieve the loss of an actual person. We can grieve the loss of a relationship. Person is still alive, but maybe there was a breakup. Maybe there was a relationship, a friendship that has been broken. Maybe there are some other family relationships that have been severed for whatever reason. We can grieve all of that. We can even grieve the loss of a job. Had a job for a long time and I no longer have it for whatever reason. That's a loss. So we have to be clear, first of all, that we can all grieve about a multitude of things. And so please share this message. If it may not hit you at home, it may hit someone that you know, because we've all had losses in our lifetime, and the holidays can make that so much more difficult to manage and deal with. Hi, Ty. Thanks for joining. So be clear that we can grieve in a lot of ways, and the holidays can definitely make it difficult. And I think that it's important for us to consider what might that look like for you if you're having that experience, whether it's a real person, a relationship, a job. It could be a home. Now, here's the thing. I'm in Houston, Texas, and you guys may live in other places, but we just had a hurricane. There are folks here, while it was in August, there are folks who are still suffering from the loss of their home, of their cars, of all the things that they were familiar with. See, we can grieve anything that was of value to us. So just know that anything that's of value to us, we can actually grieve. So our hearts can be very, very, very heavy. Sometimes we may not be in the best position as far as it is. Jessica says, crying it out is working it out. Tears can be therapeutic. Yes, Jessica. So that's why I titled tonight's, 12 Days of Christmas, Day 3, Cry If You Want to. Because here's the thing, if you're beginning to feel the emotional effects of grief or loss that are occurring at this time, what I want you to know is, number one, you don't anyone an explanation for why you feel the way you feel, first of all. And second of all, you do not have to hold back any tears that you have because someone else might be uncomfortable with your sadness. I'll repeat that. You do not have to hold back any tears that you have because someone else might be uncomfortable with your sadness. Because sometimes other people might know what you crying for. That person been gone for 20 years. No, no, no. You don't get to tell me when my tears are done. You don't get to tell me when my loss is over. We grieve through seasons. So whether my loss was today or my loss was 20 years ago, when certain seasons show up, I can begin to experience those same emotions again and again, and they look different at anniversaries, at holidays, at milestones of a person's life, or just special memories. So seasons can bring about different types of grief as well, depending on what situation might have been. And so if you need to cry it out, do that. Now, here's the thing. You may want to talk to somebody about that, but be selective who you talk to, because sometimes everybody is not equally, I'm going to say, yoked to have that conversation. Some folks, we know when we're grieving, some folks say the absolute worst thing. The absolute worst thing. Number one, what you said for that was 20 years ago. Oh, it was just in the hurricane. It was just a house. It was just a car. It can all be replaced. Yeah, but it was my house. And yeah, but it was my car. And you don't get to tell me that I can't be sad about that. You don't get to. Hey, Lisa. Hey, sis. Thanks for joining. You don't get to tell me that I can't be sad about that. And so, first of all, I say this all the time. You don't need anybody's permission for you to do what's best for you. You don't need to ask them. You don't need a co-sign. I said that one night too. We don't need co-signers. We the owners. You don't need nobody to co-sign on anything that you feel right now, especially if you're having a loss and you are grieving. It is yours, and no one really can understand that but you. So even when you work to tell folks, how you're feeling, they still don't get it. Even if we've all had loss, our experiences are all going to be very different because our losses are not the same. And even if two people lost the very same person, situation, maybe we both were in the hurricane, we both lost a home, but my loss is still not your loss. They're very different. You understand that? So just be real clear that if you are with folks who've had losses, that we've all had it on some level, that we need to be sensitive to that we need to be supportive of that, and we need to allow folks to have the room and space that they need to heal in whatever way they need to. Now, here's the other thing. Because losses can make the holidays more difficult, there's a few things, just some tips on how to cope with the holidays, because they're faster on us. But, well, we know 12 days to Christmas, we're on day 3. So what we have before we get there, have a plan A and a plan B. You know what? I'm still going to try to get through it. I'm going to do what we've always done. I'm going to go to so and so's house. I'm going to cook XYZ. You can choose that. But just know that that can be your plan A, but you can also have a plan B. Your plan B might be, yeah, I don't want to do any of it. If that's your plan B, let it be your plan B. Your plan B might say, I'll just stay at home and you guys can go. See, the thing is, when folks are sad, we get like, well, I don't want you to be sad. You can't take away my sadness because you're uncomfortable because it's here. I have to experience it. Now, there's a difference. And as a counselor, what I'm saying is we can feel sadness, which is normal. Then there's depression that lasts over a long period of time. So let's not be afraid of moments of sadness versus a long period of sadness that interferes with our ability to function. Those are two different things. I want to be clear about that. But sadness is normal. So you have a plan A and a plan B. Have it up front and already in your mind. This is the thing I think I can do, but when I get to that point, I don't know how I'm going to feel. So maybe I will do that thing, or maybe I won't do that thing. Again, you're the boss. You get to decide. No one else gets to tell you, well, no, 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 you're wrong. You can't do that. They can't. No, you don't get to tell me. I get to decide that. So, coping mechanism number one, have a plan A and a plan B. The second thing is, for some folks, you just may want to cancel the holiday altogether. You may decide that, you know what, right now, I don't have the capacity to even entertain all of that. I would rather just do something completely different. You get to decide that too. You are the complete and total boss of how you handle the holiday if you're grieving or you have a loss that you're dealing with at this time, or even one that happened some time ago. The third coping mechanism might be just start something new, a different tradition perhaps that maybe honors the person that's been lost, but it's something that you've added to. Now, I mentioned earlier that I did this training at my church maybe a weekend, maybe it was last weekend, I think, about grieving and the seasons. And one of the things that I taught participants was that when you have a loss, there's stages of grief. And I'm not going to go through all of those right now, but the first five we're most familiar with: denial, anger, depression, bargaining, and acceptance. Now, there's a sixth stage that's called creating new meaning. And that's what I talked about at this training. And that means giving birth to something when something has been lost. So while we can mourn the loss, we can also give birth to something new. And that might look like, for some, if your loved one passed away of some kind of illness, you may take up the cause for that illness. You may become an advocate for that illness. It may cause you to become healthier because you want to make sure that your body is strong. It may cause you to turn into your faith a little bit more. It may cause you to give birth to something. You may plant a tree. Everyone gets to decide what that new meaning is for themselves. But if you want to cry, you can just cry. You can do that too. Ultimately, no one can tell you how this process can go. You have a right to decide for yourself what it looks like. It hurts. And there's no way to run from the pain. As a matter of fact, the thing we run from is a thing that has power and control over us. So it's never a good idea to even try to run, because we can't. We have to sit with and we have to walk through. Sometimes it gets very, very heavy. And I get that. It does. It's normal for it to be that way. And what I'm encouraging you to do, as people who you may be around, folks who are dealing in this or suffering in this way, just be supportive. Ask them, what can I do? How can I assist you? We can't always assume that we know, because when it was me, this is what I needed. And so you guys talk back to me. I've told you, I want to hear from you. So if anything, any of this resonates with you, just let me know. Let me know if this hits home for you, or if there's anything about this that you have a question about, because this is a really big portion of the holidays that we just don't talk about. We get all the commercials about all the great things, but there's a lot of pain that the holidays can bring about as well too. And I'm really wanting to encourage us to be clear that if we need to cry about it, we just need to let the tears out. There's actually a physiological benefit of crying. When you release tears hormonally, it helps you to release some of the emotion that's being held. You see, I always say that we are like emotional balloons. We only have a capacity to hold so much. And when we reach full, like a balloon, a puff of hot air in that balloon, what's going to happen? When it's to capacity, it's going to pop. And whatever's in it's going to come out, and it's not going to come out pretty. It's not going to come out in a straight line. It's just going to go splat. And so it's really important that we take the release valve, open it up, let something out. That may be tears. That might be a conversation. That might be getting some fresh air. That might be, again, finding some way to give birth to something based on what has been lost. I don't know what it is for you, and I can't tell you that, but I just want you to consider that it is a normal experience. And it's something that's important. So now that's surviving the holidays. But again, I said there's other things that we may have lost other than just a person, whether it's a job, whether it's a relationship. Those things hurt deeply as well. To do the same thing applies. Create new meaning from those things as well. Because it could mean, if it was a job, for instance, that, oh no, am I saying negative things to myself now? Well, or am I no good? Or we can turn to that place. That's not a helpful place at all. challenging those thoughts to think more positively about ourselves, to know that you do have a future. You just got to do the work and make the moves to get there. If it's a loss of a relationship, I said this last night, sometimes the good Lord did you a favor and got somebody lost for you to save you from something that you didn't know you need to be saved from. I'm just saying that might be the case. I don't know what your loss might actually mean, but it could definitely be important. Ty says that's the stage I'm in now with the job loss. Absolutely, Ty. And job loss is tough because when you don't have a job during the holidays, it's a great reminder because everybody, the negative thinking, there you go. Everybody around you is doing certain things that maybe you aren't able to do because you don't feel like it, or maybe we don't have the finances to do it, or whatever the case is. But the negative thinking, Ty, is a thing we have to turn around. No longer can we sit inside of that. We need to challenge those thoughts with something that's more reasonable and rational. What's the actual truth? Again, sometimes the good Lord is saving us from something we don't even know we need to be saved from. Maybe that was a job that wasn't healthy. Maybe it was taking life out of, maybe it was keeping us from something else that we had available to us that we didn't even know. So here's the other piece to this whole grief and loss. So there are things that we lose because we didn't ask for them to be lost. And then there's things that we probably need to consider if we really need to go ahead and lose them. Does that make sense? Sometimes things happen to us and we lose them. And I'm not talking about people here in this sense, not about death, but other things in our life. And sometimes we don't even know they need to be lost. And we need to lose them and then cry about it and move to the next step. So I don't know, maybe it's a toxic relationship in your life. Maybe it's a friendship. You've been friends for 100 years, but this friend is very negative. They don't add to your life. I'm telling you, if you got people in your life who do not add to you, why are they there? Perhaps they need to be lost. It may hurt. Perhaps you need to shed a tear or two, but pick yourself up, create the thought process that says, you know what? From that loss, I can give birth to something new and press forward. Maybe it is a job that you just haven't been able to walk away from because, we get tied to, just comfort of things we've done all the time. I don't know what it is for you, but just catalog for just a moment. Are there things in my life that if I lost them, I probably would be better off? Think on that. And maybe I would be sad to have lost it, but would I be better off if that thing was not standing in my way? I don't know what that is for you, but if that thing exists, you can cry about it because it might hurt, but you might be better off as a result of it. See, things that don't add to us positively, we really need to shed. We really need to shed. That can be people, places, or things, y'all. I believe in all of them. People, places, or things are things that we need to act on in some kind of way. Don't know. Think about it. What are things in your life that you need to lose that you haven't been willing to let go? I've said this before in some other posts that I've done. You can't receive anything if you holding on like this. So when you move and let go and open your hands, you are now in a position to receive. Whereas when you're like this, you can't receive anything because you're holding on too tight. Nothing can come in and nothing can go out. But this allows you to have a release that now you can be in receipt. So even though I may cry about it, it's a loss. It's something that either I chose to lose it or it got taken from me. It was lost, beyond my reasoning because I didn't ask for it. But now I'm in receipt of something that I did not have access to before. Think about that. Does that resonate with anybody? Have you ever lost something, wherever it was, people, places, things, and once it was gone, while it hurt in the loss, you will later realize, wow, I needed to lose that. Somebody chime in and just let me know. You don't have to tell me what it was, but that's just anybody else's experience because it's been mine. Back, I realized the great value of the loss. I couldn't see it in the midst of it because it hurt. It might have been a relationship. It might have been, I don't know, a job. It might have been a home. It could have been, I don't know. Maybe it was a financial burden that you need to lose in order for you to gain some room and space for something else. Ty says, yes, definitely. Okay, good. I believe it's a human experience. So what I'm encouraging you to do, if that is your experience, embrace it. The thing we run from is a thing that controls us. And we can't, when we allow it to control us, then we're not in a position to control our own lives. Ty says toxic friendships. Oh, yeah. Yes, there are people in our life that do not add to us in a positive way. Decisions to make moves. And sometimes they might need to get lost. That may be hard, folks may not understand, but I go back to what I said before. You body, the boss, you get to decide. You alone are No matter what happens or doesn't happen in your life, for get the right to blame other people for it. That's something that you get to control. So we have to accept that for ourselves. And it may be a hard pill to swallow. And I get that. We do. So, family, that is day 3. If you need to cry, just cry. If you need to grieve, let it happen. It's normal, it's natural. Plan A, plan B. Cancel the holiday, start a new tradition. Give birth to something new from that which has been lost. That's the thought tonight. It applies to the holidays, and it also applies to you blazing into 2018, realizing that I may have to shed some weight, shed some pounds, shed some stuff in order for me to be in receipt of the things that are available to me in the new year. I hope this has helped someone. I hope this has touched you in a way that is meaningful. That is why I do this. I told y'all when I started this broadcast, I am a servant, and it gives me no greater pleasure than to be in a space that I can be of assistance to you in some kind of way. That is why I'm here. I believe in my heart. That's what God put me. He put on my heart many years ago to be a servant. I just had no idea exactly what that would look like. And so as a child, I'm obedient. And when he's called me to do something, I really work hard to do what it is that I'm asked to do. So I'm hopeful that this is helpful for you in some way, and that you share this message because somebody else needs to hear it. Don't keep this to yourself. We got folks all over our city, all over our country that are hurting from something and need to know how to get through this holiday. So help them. Give them the strength to know that this is a normal experience and you're the boss. You get to decide what it's like. No one else gets to tell you. You do not need a cosigner. Nobody needs to validate, and you do not need to hold your tears because they may be uncomfortable about it. Period. On that, I think I'll just drop the mic. All right, family, have a wonderful night. Remember, your next transformation is only one decision away. Make it a great one. Visit me online at www.drshanadlewis.com. You can go there. Sign up for my contact list. I'll keep you on the email. You know what's happening. Mr. Jones says, I'm happy that you came to understand your purpose. Thank you so much for that. Gennard, or I'm going to say Jones. I don't want to get that wrong, right first name wrong, but I appreciate that. I'm amazingly happy that God chose me for this work, and I'm more than happy to do what I'm asked to do. So y'all have a great night. I will see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock all over again for day 4 of the 12 days of Christmas. Y'all have a good night. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.